here's the part where some people miss it. Everybody goes through that arc, but there's also a downside somewhere. Sometimes you hit a wall, or sometimes you hit an area of failure and you feel like, oh, maybe I wasn't supposed to. Did you ever hit a wall of failure where you thought maybe this was the wrong thing? And how'd you bounce back from that?
Yeah, I never thought it was the wrong thing. I had nothing but success for, gosh, 6 years straight. I mean, it was just insane. It was a really sweet story because I just got to celebrate win after win after win, knowing that I really didn't have any resources to learn how to do this because I didn't know about them. I was so ignorant. In a lot of ways, my ignorance and naivety was really a blessing because I just kind of put my head down and was very simplistic about it, as I am with all things. Like, okay, what makes sense? How do people operate? What's working already? Let's just do more of that. So the first 4 years of the business, I did that, my head down, just doing more of what worked. And it just, by God's grace, blew up. And then, after year 4, I really found some great resources. And I was like, oh, great. I can go back to school again, in a sense, and learn this marketing thing and learn content and learn all the things that I'm already doing, but learn how real good guys do it and study them. And so I really skyrocketed by implementing their expertise and their wisdom into what I was doing. But then I think it was 2016. So this is like 7 years into this roller coaster climb up. I hit, like you said, like a wall, and it started to dip down where things started to fall apart outside of my realm of understanding and out of my control. And I was like, I'm doing all the right things. I'm doing everything I did before. Why isn't this working? Why is this going backwards? I started to panic. A lot of things were revealed in that year of, okay, wow, Graham, your identity is pretty wrapped up in this thing, because all business, from any historical look at any kind of business, they have ups and downs. Very rarely does a business always go up. And Graham, your experience has been up. So you're hitting your first plateau or down, and you're freaking out, which means that if your business goes down, you feel like you're going down, which is an identity crisis. And that was a big wake up call to, okay, there's got to be a difference between being passionate about what you're doing and being innovative and putting yourself fully into it to do it well, and it being your identity where you need to do well so that you are doing well. And that was very much exposed. So that was a painful year of learning that, wrestling with God about like, but God, you built this thing. Like, aren't you always going to just blow it up? And not really hearing a lot from him in that year. I felt like I felt very distant. I felt very confused. And I had to, if you, it's like the story of Jacob wrestling with the Lord in the wilderness.
I am with you on that. Me and God have wrestled quite a bit. So
that was my wrestling year. I felt like I wrestled with him where there's a lot of entitlement. God, why isn't this growing? Which just revealed I expected it to always grow, or at the pace it was growing. And then eventually at the end of all that wrestling, my point being, I got to a point where I was like, dude, I have to, this isn't my deal. This is God's deal. Like, he's entrusted it to me and he wants me to work hard with it. But if he wants to take it away, as a Christian, I have to believe that he has the right to take it away. He gave it to me. He can take it away. Am I okay with mentally the possibility of it just declining? And I had a few 5-6 fun years, made a dent in the world, made an impact, had some fun with my family, was able to do a lot of good, and then it goes away. Are you okay with that? And it took me like 9 months. I remember being on a trip with my family in Colorado, and we rented this house that was off the grid, like solar power, wind power, no cell phone service, no internet. You're at Pikes Peak, this mountain. And it was a great experience because, you really got close to your family and you're just out in nature. And I remember one day just sitting outside, like looking at nothing, having nothing to do, and saying like, I think I would be okay with it all sort of coming down. I've separated my identity from it. I can still be used by God in other ways. And it was a really cool run. I'm okay with that, Lord. And I finally actually believed that. The crazy thing was that fall of 2016 was the fall that then things started to ramp up. God sent me some strategic people, some strategic ideas, some strategic vision. And that began this next chapter that I'm in the middle of, which is like growth chapter. And it's like, I thought I'd maxed out all my capacity, all my ideas, that was possible. And it was like God needed to take me to a place of realizing it's not about you, bro. And if
Mm-hmm.
this falls apart, you're still okay. But he wasn't done with it, which I thought he was. He just wanted me to get to a place of being okay with it if he was done. For whatever reason, he's still not done with it yet, and I'm still on that journey.
Wow. I love that story because it opens up a couple of different things. It opens up where we make everything about us still. It's about our pride. Well, what if this doesn't happen? And this is all connected to me. What about it becomes me again? Well, God, you thought you were going to do this. And then we get to the point where we're like, well, I'm still serving you. I'm still doing everything you said. Well, why come I can't have this thing right now? And we're like, wait a minute. God's like, hold on. I gave you this thing from the get-go. And if I put it in your lap this way and I take it out this way, then you have to trust there's something, number one, better. Because I never would take something from you and leave you in a space where you don't have me, because he wants you to have him first. That's most important. And he's teaching you dependence on him, not dependence on yourself. And at that one point where you were at your lowest, you were almost thinking, well, it's about me, right? You're depending on you a little bit. Like it became you. Like the business was great, but you started to feel like, well, this business is about me. It's about my information. It's about my thing. And once you hit that space, it's dangerous. Like you said, it's almost like you're tempting fate a little bit here. So I'm sure he had to kind of break you a little bit to say, I need you to not feel like it's you so that you realize it's me. And then I can bring that back to you. So you really understand where this comes from and that you're impossible. It's only possible because of me.
Yeah.
You're impossible. The dream you're living isn't because you were so great. It isn't because you had it was good content. You did all the right things. And it wasn't because of you. It was because of him. You know?
But how sad is that the moment I'm seeing some success, like I think 2015 was like this banner year for me for a lot of reasons. Revenue was as high as it had ever been. I was getting a lot of publicity in the press, whether it was, Business Insider or Yahoo doing features on me or interviews on some of my heroes shows. And I was getting a lot of exposure outside of even the audio space as like an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I was in a lot of these podcasts, and it was a lot of just ego building. Right. And so that I started to feel like, yes, look at me.
I am the man.
There's this great book by Ryan Holiday called Ego is the Enemy. Right. And it talks about, and to be fair, I haven't finished the book, but the premise of the book and what I've read so far is this idea that, a lot of success stories, when they become successful or whatever that looks like, you almost start to twist your story. You forget what really happened. And you almost look back at it now, seeing, all of it lining up and say, yeah, I did this. And then I did that because that's strategic. And then I did that strategic. Yeah, you didn't know what you were doing or how it was going to turn out. But when you see the arc of your history, and other people all they see is your success. And they go, man, you did this. And that was great.
Right.
If you're not careful, you'll believe them and the way you're viewing history and be like, yeah, I am great. And that's what happened to me. I was like, oh, of course. Yeah. I started the YouTube channel. I had strategic content. And then I launched this product, and then that made sense. And I did this and I did that. And those are all kind of true. The things I historically did. I didn't know what I was doing. So I feel like God had to be like, whoa, bro, people said, you're missing the point. And he humbled me. He still has to humble me.
Daily.
Every day. But it was an important couple of years for me to have this massive high and then this massive confusion and low. And like you just said, Derek, remember, it's like, let's say, even if you weren't a Christian and you don't believe in God and you wanted to ignore that aspect, which I can't ignore, but let's say you did, you could still look at it from the humanistic standpoint of, wasn't it serving other people and focusing on them what led you to some semblance of success?
Right.
Wasn't it not really about you? It was about like helping people. Shouldn't you get back to that? Wouldn't that be a smart move? And the answer is yes, that would be the smart move.
Wow. And a wonderful way to bring that back around, because you went full circle. It was about serving others. It was about taking care of your family. You became successful at what you were doing because you were serving others, taking care of your family. Then we get to that level, and all of a sudden, look at me. This is how good I am. We drink our own Kool-Aid, so to speak, and we just think, wow, I'm so great. And then we take our eye off the why. So the success comes by focusing on that why, getting to the homework, getting really driven in and getting there. And of course, God is the wind behind your back. Then when we get to that pinnacle, we sometimes just take our eye off of what got us there. And it can really humble you quickly, to bring you right back down. And I call it reset, refocus, and revitalize. You got to follow it so you can reset your mind, reset what your thinking is, refocus so you can really picture where you are, clearly design where you're going, and then revitalize. Because at that point, once you refocus, you have a new energy for it. You have a new momentum going forward. So once that fall happens, that failure happens, you get the opportunity to reset, refocus, and revitalize. And you did that. And now that you've come back out of that, you can trust the process of success, because it is still a process, and you'll have highs and lows to the end of time. You'll still have those moments. But now, even if my business goes here and it goes here, you're not freaking out anymore, because you know what? I've been in this valley. I know why it's here. I know I have to learn from whatever I'm supposed to learn now. Let me learn it, so I know the arc will come back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the separating your identity from your accomplishment and your achievement, which is really hard for all of humanity, especially though in the West where we live, right? Where our culture elevates achievement and accomplishment, and achieving and accomplishing isn't a bad thing. So it's very easy to get sucked into it, but we so closely tie our identity to it, as opposed to who are you apart from your achievements and accomplishments? That's a scary thought sometimes. Like, who are you? And if you don't know who you are apart from that, then you're going to be on a roller coaster ride. And when things are good, then you'll forget about this question. Who cares about, I'm great. Bad, then you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And it reveals that you haven't landed on that very important question. Who am I apart from my accomplishment? And so that's the irony of it all, is I don't want to stop achieving or accomplishing. I don't want to stop helping or doing cool things, but I have to almost be okay with like not ever accomplishing or achieving in my life still being okay.
Sure.
I can't marry or hitch myself to this business, because it will go up and down, even just fluctuate, or it could just come to a screeching halt. Then what? And that's what so many people, whether it's, your favorite athletes, when their career is over, who are they? They don't know who they are anymore. Yeah. Or an actor who no longer is getting work, or a musician who's no longer the it band anymore. Yeah. There's so many issues, from just the confusion to depression and suicide, that's like possible when you realize, dude, I was who I was and what I was accomplishing. And now when those opportunities aren't there anymore, for whatever reason, I don't know how to operate in this space. And that's the danger of connecting who you are to your accomplishments.
Or to your success. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I want to close up a little bit and introduce a couple of things that you're working on, because I know that what we've talked about, you've taken or kind of bottled this experience, and you're looking to teach people about business entrepreneurship and how to walk through life. And I follow your Instagram, of course. I'm a big fan of your stuff, and that you took a 6-week vacation with your family, and you came back with all these insights. And I think more people need to hear about what you discovered over there, especially about how we live our lives. And we work to live instead of we live to work instead of work to live. We have it all backwards. But talk to them about the new Graham Cochrane Foundation you put together. That's going to be a new, separate from Recording Revolution. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, as I've been able to achieve some level of success, and some people have noticed, like, oh, this is a business he's running. This is strategic. This is cool. Over the last 4 or 5 years, I've been sort of off the grid coaching and helping people. It started with like my family members, like some of my brothers-in-law were like, hey man, how do I start an online business like you? One of them's a motorcycle mechanic and he's got an online business. One of them's in fitness and he's got his online business. They're both making money online, taking what they know and what they're good at and turning it into a business. So I was helping like my family members, then friends, and then even people in my space, helping them with their, like my competitors, right? I don't believe in competition. I believe in friendship and collaboration. Sure. And I even helped some of them grow their businesses a bit more, to even people who would read an article about me and hit me up randomly and be like, look, I've got a business. Would you be willing to sit down and help me monetize the online space? And so I was doing that and really enjoying that as much as I enjoy music. And I've loved over the years learning new passions. And this became one of them, helping people understand the mechanics of business, like how do you physically do it tactically, strategically, but also the mindsets of business and how do you set your life up so that it all works. Mm-hmm. And so I felt very clearly a desire and a calling from God to create a new resource to publicly do a lot of this. Mm-hmm. So I finally launched that this January. at grahamcochrane.com. Really clever name, right?
I think I know that guy. Yeah.
So, and what the resource is there is helping people either pivot out of a job they hate into a business they've always wanted to start, or if they've had a business or started a business and it's not going where they want, ramp up the revenue to the point where it's actually life-changing for them, or ramp down the work hours so that their freedom is freed up, or both. And there's people that are more advanced and people who have no idea how you'd ever get paid to do something you really love to do. How does that even work? And I wanted to create a resource where every week there's a new video and we're covering how to start businesses,
Wow.
how to grow your business if you already have one, really increase revenue, how to get work-life balance down. That's one of my core tenets, is always talking about that.
Sure.
Because it's so jacked up in my country, right, in America. It's so jacked up. And then just success mindsets, which is like you have to think differently than the average person to do different things. And so let's talk about some of those ways of thinking. So I'm kind of covering all those areas. I'll do book reviews and stuff like that also, but it's free content every single week to encourage, inspire, but also tactically give the training that people need to change their lives. Because I think not everyone's going to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants a business. I get that. But I think that everyone has either some knowledge or some skill that is helping them and their circle of influence. But if they wanted to share that with a wider circle of influence, it could help the world and make the world a bit better in any kind of niche. Like even if it's just like audio, which is like helping people with music, which is like a hobby, that makes the world a slightly better place. And you can actually get paid to do that. So it's really just me downloading everything God's taught me and everything I've learned and everything that I'm doing and learning and sharing it with the next crop of people.
That's what I was going to say. I think when we talk about going through the failure and going through the ups and downs and doing the homework and how you had to lose a job and all the things you had to go through to fix and find your passion now, all those mechanics you went through are what you're sharing with people on the grahamcochrane.com. And had you not gone through them, you wouldn't have the tools to share that. So you look back on it going, man, those are some hard times, dark times, food stamps. I went through all kind of hell. But all that is exactly what you needed to go through to share now, to build the grahamcochrane.com, to really help people's lives and get them involved. So it's a whole other layer that, you maybe didn't even realize you needed. And so that's just, it blows your mind to know that that's what was coming from all that. The other thing I wanted to make sure I remember is that, your whole premise of recording music on a budget or with a few dollars is an impossible task to most. And you started your whole passion about recording music with $300. That's an impossible thing to most people. But your whole thing started on that impossible. And now you tell people all over the world, this impossible thing is possible. So it's almost, you're doing what we're doing about chasing the impossible. You're sharing, hey, it is possible. Whatever myth you believe, it's possible. It may be harder. It may take different tools. You may have to learn different skill sets to do it. But nothing's really impossible. Not it. That's the thing we talk about here, chasing the impossible all the time, is that at the end of the day, nothing's really impossible. It may take you longer. You may have to work harder. You may have to find more resources. You may have to dig a little bit. At the end of the day, if you want that thing, if that thing is where you're searching for, and of course, if you've got God, nothing's impossible. Nothing's impossible. You can do all things. So I've loved your story. I love how you've shared. How else can everybody get a hold of you? I know you don't want anybody calling you, but but how can they reach you to understand what else you do and how they get a hold of you?
Yeah, the two best ways would be go to grahamcochrane.com and you can email me right there through the site if you want to contact me directly, or follow me on Instagram at @the_Graham_Cochrane, because somebody already took Graham Cochrane. So
really?
The Graham Cochrane.
Somebody took Graham Cochrane, really?
Yeah, they're not using it. So anyway, I tried to call them up, but they didn't get back with me. So yeah, Instagram, I'm more active there. I'm sharing stuff that's happening on the blog at grahamcochrane.com, or just stuff with the family. But yeah, that would be the best way to reach out to me and connect with me there. And if you're watching this and you are interested in the business stuff or sharing content, that kind of stuff, and you have like questions, like I need ideas constantly for future videos.
Sure.
I'm always trying to go back to where people are at the beginning, even what kind of questions they have. And I think I know, but it's fascinating to hear where people are like, well, I'm stuck on this.
Sure.
What about this. So
Sure.
you can help direct content. Just let me know and I'll consider making a video on it.
So they find you on these places, shoot your message, and of course do a Recording Revolution, which is how many subscribers now? Recording Revolution.
Gosh, well, on YouTube we have almost 500,000. It's like 440,000 subscribers there. And so, yeah, if you're into music making, that's where it's happening. I've got new content every single week and tons of free resources. I mean, the resources that are free. I mean, sure, you could grab the paid stuff, but the free resources
Oh,
are
your videos are ridiculous, and there's
just,
great quality content that's free.
yeah.
You don't know how to make music on a budget and you don't have any resources, go to recordingrevolution.com or go to youtube.com/recording revolution. There's a ton of content there that Graham has created over the past, 7 years, 8 years now. And, and the thing about it that's interesting, I just want to tell you this, guys, is that it's all still relevant. He didn't make content that isn't relevant anymore. Like he made it for you, it doesn't count anymore. All of it's still pertinent to this day. That's quality. When you make content that still lasts, that still has a place from time to time, that means you've done something right. You didn't just follow a fad. You didn't just create something and then it's gone. You found a need, you served people, and that content is still serving people to this day, which is amazing. So thank you so much for taking this little time with us. I am so glad you were here. And I just consider you a friend and an inspiration for what I've done. And you've inspired me to start chasing the impossible, to start the Motivation Minute, to start the YouTube channel. You were definitely an inspiration for me there. And I just want to say, man, blessings to you and your family. I'm so excited to see what you're going to do next and where God's going to take you. And I'm looking forward to the GrahamCochran.com. I want to see what's coming. I'm going to be one of the first people on there checking it out. Let me get my paid subscription right now. I'm in. I want my life coaching. I want my life coach stuff. I'm signing up.
I'll do my best to not disappoint.
Anything else you want to say to those as we close it out?
No, man, I would just say that if you struggle like me with the imposter syndrome, who am I to do something like this? Just know that that's pretty normal feeling. And who are you? I don't know. But why not find out? Why not try? If it actually can help somebody and serve somebody, isn't it worth doing? Otherwise, what are we doing here? Right?
That's awesome.